before we get into this week's episode, I wanted to let everyone know all of the information, let's just call it like Mom Finds Business information, is going to be at the end of every single episode. So the services that I offer, how to contact me, information on how to find me on my socials, information about my website, my itineraries, my sweatshirts, all my learning resources, all of that can be found at the end. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello. Welcome to the next episode of Mom Fine. It is Lex, and for me, it is a Saturday that I'm recording this. It's about, 11 a.m. and just, I like to set the scene of, what I'm doing, where I'm at when I record this. I hope everyone enjoyed the birthday episode. Honestly, I would just love to connect on how you celebrate your birthday and how you just do it. Because each year I'm like, what do I want to do? What do I want to do? I'd be curious to know, Also, what are the themed parties? Because, the theme was just added just that fun. We were just laughing all the time about it. It was just so funny. That was one of my faves. Top notch. One of my faves. If you haven't checked out that episode, you may want to go listen to it. If you don't want to, that's okay. We're here now on this one. But I do have my birthday page up on the website, and I have my costume page on the website. And so those are the two, at the time of this recording, the two additional website pages that I have added. I'm trying to think if I have anything else other than that. Drumming wise, like I said, I got a drum lesson on my birthday. So drumming's been good. So been working on my 16th notes now. Just been messing around with the kick in different places, kick, snare, kick, and that's been good. And been focusing on keeping the tempo with my right hand and my left hand. And I've also added another cymbal. And so the week that when I learned it, I mentioned how I had felt, because I did a drum video, so I just got done drumming, and it felt good right before I hopped on to record, and I could see the progress from my birthday until now, and I'm moving a lot more fluidly. I was going all the way from my hi-hat to my cymbal back to my snare, kind of going, but I was trying to do it with my 16th note, so I would do right hand on the hi-hat when it was with the kick foot. And if you don't play drums, and this isn't making sense to you, actually let me know if it's making sense to you and you don't know, because I want to see how I'm doing describing something and trying to describe something that is being taught to me and what I'm doing, because it can be difficult trying to explain shit to people. Trying to get what's in your head outside of your head is not easy. And so right hand on the hi-hat, and then I would go kick foot and then hi-hat, kick foot at the same time, and then hi-hat 3 more times. And then I would switch over to my cymbal to my right, which is a long, a big old circular one. I don't know if there's another term for it, just other than cymbal to my right. I'll have to ask Deb. And so I go boom, and then 3 more, and then go over here, do that, and that would be with the snare in that, and then come back, and so that was good. So Deb said that would be ready for a song. And so I don't know what I want my song to be, though. I'll have to just now keep in mind what song right now do I actually want to learn, because now I've just been going over these grooves and trying to match the beat in my head, just trying to pick a groove that I think sounds the most like what I'm trying to hear. And sometimes it can be so hard, but then there's other times where I fucking got it, where I'm just this is so fucking it, this is so my quarter note, so good. So yeah, that's a little update about what's been going on with all of that. And so with this episode, because it's Women's History Month, I just wanted to just do some research about women and just talk about women in history and what they've done and how they've changed the world and done fucking amazing things. And so I just looked it up. I just literally, this is what you see on Google. It says about, because I didn't even think to Google why do we have a Women's History Month? And so this is what it said. It said about Women's History Month is an annual declared month that highlights the contributions of women to events in history and contemporary society. Well, that's Wikipedia. And you know how use Wikipedia for ideas, but you need to go somewhere else. Okay, this is a government. The Library of Congress, National Archives, Records Administration, National Endowment for Humanities, National Gallery of Art, National Park Service, Smithsonian Institution, and United States Holocaust Memorial Museum Museum join in commemorating and encouraging the study, observance, and celebration of the vital role of women in American history. So, is it not like a worldwide thing? Is it just like in America? History Month only in America. Many countries, including China, Russia, and the United Kingdom, celebrate International Women's Day on March 8th, but the United States is the only country that devotes an entire month to the recognition of women. You would think we would have equal rights. Like, we're so important. Like, why are we not equal then? Like, we're so important that you want to dedicate. Like, we should just be recognized all the time. Like, literally back in the day, female writers would have to publish under, like, a male name. And that is just, like, fucking bullshit. Like, that is just, like, the dumbest fucking shit I've ever heard, that would ever be a thing. Like, who the fuck are you? Like, who the fuck are you to think that, like, what somebody else can create just because of, like, how their body was formed and, like, how their hormones are? It's just, like, how the fuck did it just, like, it's just so disappointing how this all just, like, came to be. Because I would much rather have equal rights than a month dedicated to me, you know? Especially with, like, what the fuck happened with Roe v. Wade. Which is just, like, sickening. Okay, here's the thing. If I have, like, time, because I want to get into Roe v. Wade, because I did research on that, like, when I was working for my attorney, and I have this whole thing of how, like, information for Roe v. Wade, and then the case that overturned it, and the holes in Roe v. Wade that made it not a good case to begin with, because of the verbiage of what they were arguing in court, because that's a thing about law. It's fucking slippery, and it's just, like, your verbiage and what you're saying is just, like, so important. So yeah, I might, like, just wait to do that because this was gonna be the episode. I wanted to just highlight women. I didn't want to go into, and I just literally did that. I went down the rabbit hole of just, like, because I was just like, why do we even have a month? Like, like, because we've just been left out so much. And is that just, like, you're giving us a little bit so that we'll just, like, be like, well, we have a whole month dedicated to us. We should just allow all this fucking bullshit. And not just us, just, like, everyone. Like, this is where I get anxiety. It's just, like, how the world works. It's just, like, crazy. And I, like, got this spark when I started researching women in law. How women are treated in the law and, like, in the law field. And I was like, this is, like, actually still happening, like, in, like, big law firms. And I'm just like, this is fucking bullshit. Like, just, like, the gender pay gap. Like, that is fucking bullshit. All I can keep saying, it's just, like, really disappointing. And it just, like, I strive to just, like, want things to, like, be better. Like, I think it's just, like, ridiculous. Anyways, we're getting into the history of women because law is, like, my passion and, like, I feel like my first love. We're gonna talk about laws leading ladies. Laws leading ladies. I want to stay positive. It's because I'm gonna do a whole episode dedicated of just, like, I want to go back all the way back to, like, the Salem witch trials with all that shit. Like, are you kidding me? And when I got into cycle syncing, it's opened my eyes to, like, a lot of things. I'm just like, I feel like men were just, like, scared. Like, males were just, like, scared, and they just, like, didn't know. They were like, whoa, like, what the fuck is going on the other side of the human species? We don't know. We're just gonna, like, we're bigger, so we're just gonna take over and run things and then, like, manipulate them to thinking that they're just, like, weak and that they need us and they're only good to just, like, give us more of ourselves, like, more males. Like, they, like, people would prioritize. It's just fucking crazy. Like, I literally have been down a rabbit hole and doing research on all these women, I was just like, you know, I got you. Like, I want to be, like, you know, like, part of the fight that, like, continues to not just fight for, like, my own women's rights, but it's just, like, everyone's rights. Just, like, all communities where it's just, like, we're not equal. And it's just, like, so fuck. That, like, especially, like, not even just the States. Like, honestly, like, compared to other countries, like, it's insane. If you go to, like, Nepal, like, I had to do, like, a slavery and terrorism, or it was, like, a sex trafficking and slavery class, and, like, what's going over in India is just, like, gut-wrenching. Like, the sex trade and, like, human trafficking, like, you just don't, I got it so fucking, like, it's just so bad. But you can't focus on all that, so that's why I want to focus on the positive. Okay, anyways. Okay, Margaret Brent. She lived from 1601 to 1671. She was an unmarried woman. And in 1638, she left England and settled in Maryland. She was granted a large land by her, like, powerful cousin, Lord Baltimore. And I'll have, like, all my resources and stuff, too. And so, her cousin's brother and the governor of, like, the colony that they were living in gave the land to a bunch of soldiers. And then Margaret was like, fuck that shit, no way. And so she took them to court. She was in approximately 100 court cases. She never went to school for the law because of the restrictions on women from entering any law school or state bar association at the time. So literally, education is the biggest equalizer. Like, are you kidding me? Knowledge and just like especially now that I just like teach myself like a whole bunch of shit, like everything that I'm just like trying to learn, like master the mind, you know? And so that's just like fucking bullshit. But look at her, like reaching a problem, be like, fuck that, I'm still like, this is my land. Like, what are you gonna do about it? Like, step up. And then she's remembered for being the first woman to appear in the courts for colonial America. Other than Brent, there's little evidence of women in law until the mid 1800s. But hey, well done. Well done, Margaret. Okay, listen to this shit. So, now Margaret won. So, she owned the land. And so, now, she was also the first woman to ask for the right to vote in Maryland. Because now she was a landowner. And in Maryland, if you own land, you have the right to vote. So, then she went to the Maryland Assembly and asked for the right to vote since she owned land. Again, because she was a fucking woman, she was denied the right. And it would take another 300 years before women could gain the right to vote in the United States. And even that came with, like, not all women were still able to vote. Okay. Well, you know what, Margaret? You started it. You literally were the first person to be like, yo, I should be able to fucking vote. Like, what the fuck? Ridiculous. Okay, moving on. Arabella Mansfield. She was the first woman to become a licensed attorney in the United States. Women were still not allowed to attend law school at the time, but she still studied law at her brother's legal practice in hopes of passing the Iowa bar exam. Only men over the age of 21 were allowed to receive a law license in Iowa. She challenged this law before Judge Frances Springer, a women's rights activist, and passed the bar exam. In 1869, she became the first woman admitted to practice law not only in Iowa, but in the United States. She ultimately decided not to practice law and instead dedicated her life to the women's suffrage movement. Well done, Arabella Mansfield. I hope that's how you say it. Okay, so listen to this shit. So Lemma Barkaloo. Let's see.
Lemma?
Okay, Lemma. Okay, kind of like llama. Okay, well, Lemma Barkaloo. She was the first female student in the Washington University's law program in St. Louis in 1869. She had applied to law schools of Columbia and Harvard, but was rejected from attending both institutions. However, she was accepted into Washington in 1869, and in the course of a year, she became the first female attorney in the state. She went on to work for St. Louisiana Eaton's private practice and became the first woman to try a case in the courts of America. Sadly, her career in law was short-lived. After the trial, she fell ill with typhoid, limiting her career to a mere 5 months. Well done. Another first. Ooh, Charlotte E. Ray. She graduated from Harvard School in Law in 1872 and applied for the District of Columbia bar membership under the name C.E. Ray as a means to disguise her gender. Ray became one of the first women to be admitted in the D.C. bar. She went on to open up her own law practice. Fortunately, she could not attract enough clients to maintain her practice due to the widespread prejudice against her during that time. Charlotte, you did what you could. And society fucked you. And I'm sorry. But well done. You came up with a strategy. I'm sorry if the heater bugs you, but I'm literally like so cold. I just like I'm not gonna be able to stay in here if I don't warm up. I even have a blanket. But Charlotte, well done. Like C.E. Ray. I would do the same. But well done. I remember you. Okay. Ooh, Clara Shortridge Foltz was the first female lawyer on the Pacific Coast, specifically in California. Oh Oh shit. Okay, so after she was abandoned by her husband, she began studying law with her father. In 1878, she passed the California bar after she persuaded California legislation to pass her Women Lawyers Bill, officially allowing women to practice law in California by replacing white male with the word person. She was ultimately very influential in reforming the criminal justice system and prison system, often regarded as the creator of the prison parole system as well as the Office of Public Defender. She became the first female deputy district attorney in the United States when she was appointed to the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office in 1910. Damn, Clara! Well done! Way to represent! Well done. 5 small children! Like, holy fucking shit. Like, especially birth back then. In 1878, she was past... Okay, so when did she have her kids? I don't know when she had her kids, but, like, by 1910, still, 1910? Like, fuck. So strong. Like, literally so strong. Yeah, and then that bill that she passed, one of the earliest American statutes allowing women to practice law. Well done, Clara. Yeah, so, you know, all of these women have literally done amazing things. Yeah, so, pretty great. Like, sick. Ooh, okay. Here's another one. On February 15th, 1879, Ruth Ford B. Hayes signed a new law that would allow women to become members of the Supreme Court bar, meaning they would be able to submit and argue cases in front of the highest court in the land. Okay, moving on. That was Law's Leading Ladies. Now, we're going to go into, you know, I feel like this one's a pretty common one if you don't know, but Amelia Earhart. She was an American pilot who became the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic and the first person ever to fly solo from Hawaii to the U.S. In this one of my sources, it says that she was a rule breaker and she refused to be boxed in by her gender from a young age. She was born in Kansas in 1897, and in 1920 she began flying lessons and quickly became determined to receive her pilot's license, passing her flight test in December 1921. So, like, literally when, like, the Roaring 20s, and then the Depression was 1930. So, like, she was, like, flying, like, the 20s, like, and we're in the 20s now, and, like, because I saw this video of just, like, this, you know, just, like, she just looked like a regular girl, you know, and she was just, like, sharing how, like, she, like, flies, and I would be, like, I, like, looked into it, and it's, like a couple $1,000 hobby I think you gotta invest in. Like, I'm curious to know how much flight, like, I feel like I could fly. That would be sick. This was the attempt that led to her disappearance. So she was the first person to circumnavigate the globe, which led her, what does that fucking word even mean? Sail or travel all the way around. Oh, okay. Why don't you just, like, fucking say that? So she was the first person to travel around the globe, and that, because I think she went missing in the Bermuda Triangle. There's some, like, crazy ass fucking shit going on over there. So there's, like, multiple things that have gone missing over there, and so she was declared dead in 1939, or dead in absentia. I don't know what that means. Her plane has never been found, and it's remained one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Whoa. Okay, Mary Curie. 1867 to 1934. She was a pioneering physicist and scientist who coined the term radioactivity, discovered 2 new elements, radium and polonium. What do those do? Let's look it up. Another bad bitch. Like, bad bitches. But what is radium? Is a naturally occurring radioactive metal. Radium is a radionuclide formed by the decay of uranium and thorium in the environment. The most common isotopes, for example, uranium has 37 different... I don't even know what the fuck that even means. What is it? Alright, well, I guess it's just like an element. What is this one? Polonium is a very rare natural element. It's found in uranium ores, but it is uneconomical to extract it. It is obtained by bombarding. I don't even know, that was her in my brain. She discovered 2 new elements, and she was the first person who has won 2 separate Nobel Prizes, one for physics and another for chemistry, and to this day, Curie is the only person, regardless of gender, to receive Nobel Prizes for 2 different sciences. She faced near constant adversity and discrimination throughout her career, as science and physics was such a male-dominated field, but despite this, her research remains relevant and has influenced the world of science to this day. Fuck yeah, it has! Like, are you kidding me? Like, discovering 2 new elements? Like, how does that even happen? Like, what was she studying to, like, oh my god, my fucking foot's asleep. Fuck. Ah! Just like great brains doing great shit. How are we doing? I'm having fun actually, like, because I researched all of this stuff and I had researched it a little bit ago. So now I'm kind of like relearning all of it too with you. Ow. Fuck. Okay, moving on. This article I got from the history website. Okay, this one. Okay, I remember researching this one, and this one I was excited to get to. Ada Lovelace was an English mathematician and the world's first computer programmer. She is most famous for being the first person ever to publish an algorithm intended for a computer. Lovelace died of cancer at 36, and it took nearly a century after her death for people to appreciate her notes on Babbage's analytical engine, which became recognized as the first description for computer and software ever. Why? Why did it take centuries after her death for people to appreciate her notes? Why couldn't it have just been... Was it because she was a woman? That's fucking dumb. Rosa Parks! Okay. Respect. Rosa Parks, 1913 to 2005. Rosa Parks was on a bus in Montgomery, Alabama in 1955 when the bus driver asked her to stand up and give her a seat to a white man. Parks, a black seamstress, refused, and doing so sparked an entire civil rights movement in America. Well done, Rosa. Like, fuck him. Like, why should you have to give up your seat? You were there fucking first. Like, who the fuck is he? Imagining living in that time period, because, like, you know, like, you could have been born at, like, how crazy. It's, like, just, like, crazy to think, like, the small chance of, like, ever actually being born and then picking a decade also. So just, like, thinking, like, I couldn't have just imagined the strength that just during that time to be black, how like strong-minded your anxiety. I could not imagine the survival instincts that you had to. Terrifying. It's literally terrifying. And for her to just be like, no, like I'm not, and then for her to be fucking arrested. Like, we're all just like making shit up, and like people just go along with like what they believe, and then that becomes like belief comes like law and with research and stuff. But our history is just like not. We need to just be doing better, like continuing to like, you know, doing better. And we are like, fight is, you know, people are still, you know, fighting to live in that moment during that time and to be in that mindset and to be out in that life. So the mind on that woman, honorable. Because she started the movement, like she did, because it was just like, no, like I'm not fucking getting up, like fuck you. After she refused to get up her seat, she was arrested, and that sparked the protest. A demand. We deserve better. We deserve to be equal. So she died at age 92 on October 24th, 2005, and she became the first woman in the nation's history to lie at the U.S. Capitol. And when I was doing research, they were saying how, because Ruth Ginsburg, I will talk about Ruth Bader Ginsburg, which she's coming up next. I researched her later, and it wasn't with my other research, so we're going to go back to law too to talk about her. But they were saying how she was the first, but then she was saying no, but Rosa Parks was actually, I do believe my research to say that, but if I'm wrong, then, I mean, I don't think so though. She was the first person to be buried and lie at the U.S. Capitol. And then Ruth is also. So, to go back to law, Ruth Bader Ginsburg became the second female justice of the U.S. Supreme Court, born in 1933 in Brooklyn, New York. Bader taught at Rutgers University Law School and then at Columbia University, where she became its first female tenured professor. She served as the director of the Women's Rights Project of the American Civil Liberties Union during the 1970s. And was appointed to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia in 1980. And she just, you know, she continued to argue for gender equality, and it says here specifically in the case United States versus Virginia, and she died September 18th, 2020, due to complications from metastatic pancreas cancer. Metastatic. Metastatic pancreas cancer. So, rest in peace, all you my ladies. Okay, let's talk about the 19th Amendment. So, the 19th Amendment is the amendment that gives the women the right to vote. And that came about August 18th, 1920. But not all women were equal. It would take more than 40 years for all women to achieve voting equality. So when the amendment in 1920 got passed, it was really tailored towards like white women. Like I said, it was another 40 years to achieve voting equality. And I still even think now, I've seen like on videos just kind of like online at like some voting polls where they're just like so long. And I'm like, oh my, like people are hours, like I vote by mail. And I'm like, that is just, there has to be something like better. Like that is just, that's terrible. I feel like to have to wait that long to vote. Like, I feel like you should make voting accessible. Like, what? So, well done, but still equality for all. Equality and equity. The difference between equality and equity is equality means like giving the same to all, and equity means recognizing that we don't all start from the same place and must acknowledge and make adjustments to imbalances. So I kind of like think about it like in CrossFit, like when you modify a workout, you're not taking away the intensity, you're just making it so that it's like doable for you. Like for instance, like I can't do a bar muscle up. And so if the workout prescribes a bar muscle up, I'm going to do something equivalent to like what the energy and effort it would take to do a bar muscle up. So I might do 3 kipping pull-ups to 1 bar muscle up. And so the intensity of my workout, just because I modified it and did something different, doesn't mean that workout is any less like easier for me, or I'm still getting like what I need and I'm doing what I can do. But also doing the same workout, you know. And then like I feel like equality in that terms is also like giving me a bar so that everybody has the same gym equipment. So it's like same, all equal with like the gym equipment, and then, you know, using it in a different way to your strengths and to like where you're at, because we all are at different spots, you know. Okay, so yeah, we just like need equality and equity. I don't think that's too much to ask for, right? Okay, moving on. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. That just scared the shit out of me. Edith Clarke was a pioneering electrical engineer at the turn of the 20th century. She worked as a quote-unquote computer, someone who performed difficult mathematical calculations before modern day computers and calculators were invented. You would give her problem, like math to do, and she could just like do it. The human calculator. That makes sense. Like the mind can do so much. The mind can just evolve and adapt and just like learn. Especially like when it's developing, because our brains don't fully develop until we're 25. It's just like fucking wild. And so to continue, she struggled to find work as a female engineer. She still became the first professionally employed female electrical engineer in the United States in 1922. Yes, Edith! Fucking well done. Way to represent. Alright, listen to this one. Ruth Rogan. Ruth Rogan Benerito was an American chemist and pioneer in bioproducts. Benerito is credited with saving the cotton industry in post-World War II America through her discovery of a process to produce wrinkle-free, stain-free, and flame-resistant cotton fabrics. Holy shit! Crazy, bad bitch. Like, well done. Like, are you kidding me? Cotton was huge in America. Like, that was, like, one of the things that we produced. That and fucking tobacco. In addition to this work, Benerito also developed a method to harvest fats from seeds for use in intravenous feeding of medical patients. This system became the foundation for the system we use today. After a time so, you know, using plants and herbs and seeds... Peace Love Hormones, that is one of my health podcasts, and she's literally an herbalist, and I love it, and I love herbs. I'm, like, growing all my own herbs, and I just want to, like, heal my PMS and my body with just, like, natural herbs, and I'm just, like, really fucking into that, and so that's fun. Okay, last one. We're gonna do, now we're in, like, medical. So, Elizabeth Blackwell. Dr. Elizabeth Blackwell, the first woman in the United States to earn a medical degree. Dr. Blackwell faced years of discrimination before graduating first in her class from Genova Medical College in New York in 1849. After moving to New York to pursue a career in medicine, she continued to face hardship when looking for work, but that didn't stop her. In 1857, Dr. Blackwell opened the New York Infirmary for Women and Children with a mission to provide positions for women physicians. Dr. Blackwell also opened a medical college for women in New York City where countless women followed in her footsteps. Well done, Elizabeth. She wasn't going to put up with that shit. She was like, bye, I don't need you. I'm going to create my own community where I can help women and we'll be equal here. Like, fuck all that bullshit. Well done. Well done. Okay, moving on. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, was the first Black woman in the United States to earn a medical degree. Challenging the prejudice that stopped so many Black Americans from pursuing careers in medicine, Dr. Crumpler graduated from New England Female Medical College in 1864. Her strength, resilience, and bravery brought about a turning point in the history of women in healthcare. Well done. Way to be the first. Way to get it done. Way to pursue and not give up and just fucking fight for a better world. Fight for you to be in it. Because we deserve it. Like, well done. Oh, okay. Clara Barton is the friggin' woman that founded the American Red Cross. She was fucking compassionate and determined. In 1861, Barton left her job to dedicate her time to bringing supplies to soldiers and tending to those wounded, sparking a lifelong career and aiding those in times of need. Before leaving the Red Cross, where she aided with countless disasters and helped the homeless and poor, Barton established the National First Aid Association of America, an organization that brought awareness to the importance of emergency preparedness and developed first aid kits. Holy fucking shit, yes, are you kidding me? Our natural disasters, when shit goes fucking south, who the fuck shows up? I've always seen Red Cross, like, that's... The fact that was not thought, like, to think when shit, like, because, like, think about fucking COVID. Like, are you kidding me? We're a hot fucking mess. Like, hot fucking mess. Anything can happen at any time. Things can switch up at any time. Like, my dad just told me this morning there was an earthquake somewhere. Like, and in Cali, we get earthquakes. Like, fucking wild. Like, fucking wild. Like, always gotta be fucking ready. Like, my mom has a go bag. Like, do you have a go? Like, I don't have a go bag yet, but I have enough clothes to make a go bag, and I would like to have a go bag. But a go bag, food stored away just in case, like, flashlights, batteries, you know, just like things, what happens? And I feel like if we ever needed to dip out my camping gear, we could, like, I'm set. Like, tent on top of my car, load the car, go. You just don't know. Like, and you just don't know. You gotta always be ready. Okay. Oh man, okay. So that's like all of the women that I researched, and if you want to look at my sources and see the pictures and the websites that I researched just to like learn about all these women, I'll have them linked in the show notes. And okay, so before I end, okay, because I gotta go soon, but I wanted to tell you guys the tea, because I wanted to end on, like, my own, because, like, these are just, like, some of these women were, like, I think the most recent, like, when they passed was, like, in the 2015, and I know there's, like, so many women, like, out there doing, like, so good, and, like, especially this day and age, like, all my podcasts, like, I only have, like, 2 males that I listen to. One is the science, and one is my Spanish, but it's mostly women that I listen to, and it just kind of, like, happened like that, and I trust their wisdom and their knowledge and their perspective on life, and and I feel like everything that they're doing is making the way and, like, fighting the good fight, because it's just, like, we're not there yet. And it was very clear just like how easily things were just like taken away, and then it was just like that's just like fucked, I feel like, because forced birth is like a crime against humanity in the EU, and I believe it should be a law here. That's gonna go into another episode because I'm already at an hour, and so just know that I want to talk about forced birth, I want to talk about the law, I want to talk about Roe v. Wade, I want to talk about all of that, but again, I think it deserves me to be dedicated to just talking about that, and I just keep going off in that little tangent because I just want to talk about it. But anyway, because I was talking about my podcast, but like there's like, oh, I think of Michelle Obama, Oprah Winfrey, like just like all the women that have like stood up, like I'm here now, like I want to join this fight, like I'm like very passionate about this because it's just like I'm not gonna know about all this shit that's happening and then do what I'm doing and then just like be accepted. Like I'm fired up, I'm pissed, like I'm angry, like fuck all this bullshit, like how dare you take things away from me and think of me less because of how my body was made. Like you don't know my mind, you don't know my brain, like you don't, like obviously our strengths and weaknesses are going to be different and how we see the world is going to be different because we fucking need that. We need different perspectives. Like are you fucking an idiot? Like could you imagine if everybody thought the same? Like how terrifying. Like we need alternate perspectives to see multiple paths and ways to do things, and I just feel like you iced us out, and it's just like fuck you, and you need us, and look at the world right now, it's a fucking mess, and we're here, and I see us all fighting because I'm here now, like I've entered now, like I'm pissed, and I feel like I've said it a lot, but like so yeah, you know. I think the one thing that gets me just so pissed is the gender pay gap. Like, absolutely fucking ridiculous. Like, fuck you. Fuck you. I loved reading and learning about all of those ladies. I hope you enjoyed listening about them. We can't let them, like, we gotta keep going. Like, we can't forget about it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially, like, when Ruth died. Like, that hit hard. Like, fuck. So, like, we gotta keep going. We can't go backwards. Like, we can't regress. We can't be taking rights away. I want to end on like a little empowering thing. So I said I had some tea, and this is my tea. I went out with Allie and her friend, and we went downtown, and I had my first like hookup. I went home with somebody after the bar, and he was like older. I'm 24 and he was I think like 32, and he was there for like a bachelor party, and you know I was feeling him, and I just, you know, I hadn't been touched for a while, and you know I was like slightly microdosing, and I just was like, he was like rubbing up on me. I was like, okay, yes, I'm into this, like, and he was like, I'll take you wherever you need to go, and I was like, all right, checking him out. I was like, all right, and I also had my knife just in case, you know, shit went south. I was like, all right, I'm into this, like, fuck it, let's do it. And so, literally ended up going so fucking, like, it was like 30, I was like, where the fuck is this Airbnb? We get out, he walks onto the wrong house, and we start knocking on the door, and then we hear somebody, and he's like, come on, let us in. I was like, and I'm like, I have to pee, let us in. And then, like, we're banging, like, he's banging on the door, and then I hear, like, this guy on the phone, and then he was just like, I don't know where these people are, they're, like, knocking on my door. I got, like, my 9mm, and then I hear the 911 operator, and I was like, yo, dude, like, this is not your Airbnb, like, this is somebody's house, like, we need to fucking go, like, he has a gun. And then we, like, fucking ran, and, like, oh my god, and then it was literally one house off, it was right next door, and then we, like, run in the house, and I was just like, whoa, like, that was a lot, but, like, whatever, like, shit happens. And then, like, we wash our face, like, get ready, like, hop into bed, but as soon as I got into the bed, I was like, fuck, like, I don't want to move my body, and, like, we started, like, doing stuff, like, hooking up. The moral of the story is just, like, he wanted to have sex without a condom, and I told him multiple times no, and then he was like, okay, like, that's fine, and then we just, like, continued, you know, just, like, doing other stuff, and then he goes to literally put it in, and I literally stop him, and I'm like, yo, like, what the fuck, like, I literally just said no, and he was like, yeah, like, sorry, yeah, and I was like, what the fuck, are you serious? Like, in that moment, I was just like, I was, like, so done. I was like, that, and then I was just like, yeah, like, real mood killer, and then we, like, kind of stopped, and I was like, all right, I'm done, like, now, and then I, like, kind of turned over, and in that moment, I was like, all right, I want to, like, I'm not staying here, I want to get the fuck out of here, and then I'm, like, laying there, and he, like, kind of, like, cuddles me, and then he, like, tries to finger me, and I was like, dude, I'm fucking done, like, and then he just, like, passes out. I was, like, laying there, and then, okay, because, like, when in San Diego, I said that Uber was better than Lyft. I honestly think you should just have both, because in this situation, I was literally laying in bed at, like, fucking 4 a.m. and was like, okay, I'm not gonna be able to sleep here, like, I'd much rather, like, how much is it? It was, like, a $30 Uber back into the city, and I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, this is why I don't fucking go out, like, what? And I'm going out tonight. And, So I'm like laying in bed. I am in his t-shirt. I'm like, okay. And my Lyft came. And so, because Uber canceled on me and Lyft like came through. So like, honestly, just do both. Okay, I gotta go soon because I'm going to go do wine and paint too. Oh fuck, and I gotta pee. So then, I'm laying in bed. I'm like, okay, where the fuck is my shit? And so I'm like grabbing my bag. I'm making sure. And like, and then my credit card is not on my fucking Lyft. So then I'm like in bed trying to like put in my credit card. I'm like, all right, where's my jacket? I had to turn on my flashlight. I ended up dropping something. I was like, don't wake him up, because I was just like, I could like make a scene and be like, okay, like I'm fucking out of here, like bye, like you're so gross. Or like I just went into just like, okay, what's like the most least amount of just like uncomfortableness that I have to deal with, and it was waiting until he fell asleep and just like literally dipping out. And so I like I was like, where the fuck is my cheetah jacket? I'm not leaving without it. And then I got all my stuff. And then I slipped out, went into the bathroom, got changed. And then, because I still had to wait like 20 minutes for my Uber. And I just like literally like snuck out, waited downstairs, and then like got out. The guy, he was like super chill though. And like I sent a screenshot to my friend. And so I was like, you know what, I would much rather deal with that than like this. And so, yeah, and he was like, how's your night? I was like, it's good. Like, I'm ready to like go home and just like not be here. And he was like, yep. And I was like, yeah, I just had to like, you know, dip out. He was chill. Like he was laughing at me and stuff. And I was like, yep. Super good. Thank you. Let's go. And then the friend's house that I was staying at, there's an apartment, and they're all asleep. And so I get there, I'm like, fuck. So I'm like banging on the door. I'm like, fuck. This is like maybe like 4:45 now in the morning. I'm like, open up. Come on, please. And so then I'm like, I wait out there. They don't open up. I fucking ninja kick myself up into, because luckily she was on the bottom floor. And so I ninja kick myself over her fence using like the stairs and shit. And I'm banging in her like back area. And then finally open it. But then she's like, you have to climb back around. I was like, what? Why could you open it just like right now? So then I had to fucking ninja kick my ass back over the fence. And then I finally got in. And I just, by the time I got there and I got onto that couch, I was like, I did it. I got back here. I'm safe. I feel good. I'm like, I did it. Because that was no way. Like, my mind, the shrooms, like, all that shit, like, I was not going to sleep there. And he was snoring. I was like, fuck all this shit. I should have just gone home with Allie. Like, what am I doing? But where I felt growth and empowered was a younger me probably would have given him what he wanted, you know? And I'm really happy that I had the voice to set boundaries and also stick with them. And just like my journey and my like bedroom voice and my sexuality and just like pleasure and sex in general, which I want to do like an actual episode dedicated to like pleasure and sex, where I'll even get more into just like my history and just that, because I definitely feel like I've had a journey through it, like a definite like since high school, you know. And so I'm happy that I just was like, no, like, what the fuck? And then, but like for him, because then he I was like, I literally told you not to. And he was like, yeah. And I was like, and then he was like, but I didn't, like, once you said it again. Acting like if his, like, after me telling him I didn't want to have sex without a condom and then us, like, getting hot and heavy again, that, like, it was now okay, you know? So I was happy because I was like, I felt, like, just stronger and like my just boundaries and honoring myself and my boundaries. So that felt really good. So, you know, happy Women's History Month. I hope you like this episode. Came from all love of just like wanting to acknowledge women. And I know I got off on some tangents about like, you know, what's actively going on, and I want to talk about those things, but I wanted this episode to be like more on the lighter side and like acknowledging just like women in history and like what women are doing now. It's not right for it to be the way that it, like, you know, and it's just like I refuse to just believe that's how the world should be, because we're all just fucking making shit up. Like we don't even fucking know what's going on. Like we're just like doing what we're doing and like seeing what happens. So I love you all. Thank you for listening to me. And thank you to all the women in my life, especially my mother. She gave birth to me. Like, I literally grew inside her womb. Like, I would not be here without her. I wouldn't be here without my dad, but I really wouldn't be here without my mom. Like, she was the space where I was able to come alive. Like, that's fucking wild. Like, be fucking grateful for your women and people who have given birth to you. Like, holy fuck. Like, that's not fucking easy. Like, amazing. Absolutely amazing. Thank you. To all of you, to everybody now, everybody that's doing good, everybody that's on this fight, you know, like, love it. Hey. So if you enjoyed this episode and would like to give Mom Fine some love, you can share this episode and your thoughts. You can leave a comment, give Mom Fine a rating, or send me an email. My email is contact@momfine.com. I appreciate you taking the time to share Mom Fine and just give me your thoughts and your feedback. It truly helps me with building my business and building Mom Fine, and so I truly appreciate it if you're going to take the time and do it. I love you so much and I appreciate it so much. I said that like 4 times, but I do. So please. Okay, so now to go into my services that I offer. I offer legal support, social media support, and I also create custom itineraries. On my website, I have more information in terms of what I offer for those things. I do just want to say for the legal support, that is specifically like a legal assistant for prosecutors and attorneys. I can't offer like legal advice, or I just do want to make that distinction clear because that can sound like if you needed legal help. I can't be your attorney, but I can help your attorney. So yeah, that's the difference. And then for the social media, I can create your content and then also your branding posts. So if you want to have your contact page and all of your just like business information just pinned to your profile, I can help with that and kind of create that and make it look, real pretty and real nice. And then with the custom itineraries, I create my itineraries on the Thatch app and I absolutely love it. And so if you just want to see the kind of itineraries that I created for myself, you can check that out. My is Mom Fine, and you can also find everything in the show notes that will take you to where you need to go. On my personal Thatch app, the itineraries that I have currently, I have a 1 day in Colmar, France. I have 3 days in Amsterdam. I have 3 days in Bern, Switzerland. I also have a 1 day in Amsterdam. I have 3 days in San Diego. And then I also have Ultimate Travel Guide for Sydney. I have a 1 day itinerary for Sydney. Some of them are free. Some of them I do charge for. If you are wanting custom itineraries, go check out the ones that I've already created and you can kind of just like see how I create my guides and also just like what trips I've been on, because you gotta trust me to plan your trip, and so go check it out. Check it out. I'm so passionate about traveling, and if I can do anything to help others travel and just like make it happen for you, I would be so ecstatic and happy to, make a trip happen for you and like be part, because the hardest thing is research. It's just actually researching, finding the flights, doing all of that. It's so much. Like I'm currently trying to research for Europe right now, and it can be a lot. And so if you just don't even want to deal with all of that, let me know. I love planning trips. Even though it's a lot, I truly do love to do it, and it's just a lot of fun for me. And so all of that information for my services, I have a service page on my website. It will be linked in the show notes, and you can check that out to just get more information on how I can help you and how I can make your life a little bit easier. I would love to. So connect with me there, and let's get some shit done, Okay, also, because I add so much to my website, I just want to include it in my little, end of business information, because you never know, you might need it. On the website, at the time of this recording, this is what is on the website. You're literally going to see all my stuff, and it's amazing. If I, give myself a little props, I'm really actually proud of my website a lot. So there you can see my services, which I chatted about before. You click that, you're going to see all the information about my services and what I can offer you and how I can help you in terms of the legal support, social media support, and travel and customized. I guess I could put travel support. That would be cool. Anyways, but right now it's just custom itineraries. And then you're going to see my episodes. So every single episode is there, and you'll be able to just, look at all my episodes and see what I've got going on in my episodes. And then you're going to get to travel. And so travel, right now, I have Australia, California, Cozumel, and Europe. If you are planning to go to those places, I recommend checking those out. Right now, I have a Sydney itinerary. Okay, so that's travel. Moving on to learn. So I just added this one because, this is the Women in History episode. So learn, if you're going to go to learn, you're going to see the drums. I've been learning the drums and I've been documenting it and I've been sharing how I'm learning and what I'm learning. So if you want to learn the fucking drums, go there. Podcasts. All of my podcasts that I listen to are up there. I even have a couple now that I've just recently added, and I got to add new stuff. So new podcasts are coming on there. But literally everything that I'm teaching myself and learning and all. So health and wellness. You got health and wellness up there. You got money, business, marketing. And then keep going. You got language. I'm trying to be bilingual and learn Espanol. So language. That's what I'm listening to learn my language. Criminal justice and true crime. And then I also have a science podcast. Like, I just love that one. Oh, and then I have my women in history. So all of the women that I talked about in this episode will be on that webpage and all my sources. So where I found the information and the articles and all of that, there's a learn more button underneath every single woman, and that is going to take you to my sources. So pretty sweet, pretty sweet. Okay, shop. I got a lot of goodies in shop. So my backpacking stuff, my bedroom, my camping gear, costumes. Love me some costumes, jewelry, my stuff in my office, my mushrooms that I love to take, and then also my mom finds sweatshirt. The sweatshirts, honestly, like, I love them. Like, I actually just got some today because I ordered for my family and love it. Like, they're so cute and they're so cozy and like, and I'm on it. So fun. Okay, and mom finds, like, the cartoon is on it, not just like my face, but my cartoon is on it. And how cutie pie is that? Okay, birthday is the last thing that's on there right now, and that is under the party folder, and that has like my episode of how I celebrated my life and literally just like some photos from my past couple birthdays and how I have celebrated it. So if you are just needing some inspiration on what to do for your B-Day, go check that out, because I have wine tasting when I went to Cozumel, my superhero versus villain party when I went to Vegas, and I want to keep, eventually I literally want all of it from like birth, like my very first birthday, but right now I just have those few. Okay, yeah, that's it. That's all I got for my business stuff. And let me know, like, connect with me, because I'm just like, trying to figure out my fucking shit. And I want to do, in terms of this stuff, like, how do you perceive, like, how is the best way for me to communicate this type of things to you? Do you prefer it? I do a separate ad for everything, and then it just kind of comes in randomly in the episode. I feel like that's like the best thing for me in terms of marketing, but I also kind of just like enjoy having it at the end and just like taking some time at the very end of each episode to just like talk about these things and then let you all know in the beginning that like this is where all that information is, because I just know when I do ads, I just skip through them. Like, I literally just fast forward them. I get like, sometimes I listen to them, sometimes I don't. It honestly depends on what I'm doing. But I'm just like trying to figure it out, and you all are listening to me, and I just would really appreciate your feedback, because I'm trying to do research on like the best way to kind of input this stuff. And let me know, would it be, would it be better if I just was like randomly, here's like a 2-minute ad about like my legal support, or all of that. But I don't know, I just feel like I want to just have it at the end, and just like each time I can just like re-record it, and even though sometimes it's going to be the same information, but like in a different way, I have updates, I have all that. So this is how I've decided to do it. If you would like to connect with me on just like how you perceive information and the best way that you like to hear things and updates and all of that, yeah, let me know. I would really appreciate it, because I'm just like figuring things out and just like doing what I do in the best way that I can do it. And so I feel as if this is how I want to do it now. And, as I grow and learn more, I will make adjustments. But as of now, I feel like this is just like how I want to do it. So thank you so much for listening. Please share. Please so much. I love you forever. Oh, fuck, my foot's asleep. I hope you all have a lovely, lovely day, and I will see you on the next episode, my babes.